The 2025 Indonesian Grand Prix at the Mandalika circuit turned into a weekend of heartbreak and controversy. What was meant to be a celebratory round for Marquez and Ducati ended in disaster following a dramatic crash involving Aprilia's Bezzecchi during the very first lap. The incident unfolded on the run into Turn 7, where Bezzecchi, eager to make early progress from the mid-pack, clipped Marquez's rear wheel while attempting an aggressive inside move. The collision sent both riders tumbling into the gravel trap, with Marquez taking the brunt of the impact. Cameras caught the 7-time world champion wincing in pain as he clutched his right shoulder before slowly walking away from the wreckage. Subsequent medical examinations at the Ruba International Hospital in Madrid confirmed a fracture at the base of Marquez's scapula, accompanied by a ligament injury in his right shoulder. While surgery was thankfully ruled out, Ducati has confirmed that Marquez will miss at least the next 2 rounds, Australia and Malaysia, with hopes of returning for the penultimate race in Portugal and the finale in Valencia. For Ducati, the loss is a heavy blow. Marquez had only recently sealed his long-awaited world title, and the team was eager to celebrate a strong finish to the season. Instead, the focus has shifted to recovery, introspection, and perhaps frustration. Team manager Davide Tardozzi didn't hold back when addressing the collision. Though he acknowledged Bezzecchi's impressive pace throughout the Mandalika weekend, Tardozzi's tone carried a distinct edge, a mixture of admiration and disappointment. "I think Bezzecchi had a fantastic weekend, showing great speed and determination," Tardozzi said. "But sometimes you need to think longer term. He was too impatient. That move was unnecessary at that point of the race." On the other side of the paddock, Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola struck a more conciliatory tone, admitting Bezzecchi's error but defending his rider's intent. "A race is not won in the first lap, nor always from the front row," Rivola explained. "Marco made a mistake, yes, and he apologised immediately both to us and to Marc. We hope both riders recover quickly and return to the track soon." The aftermath of the Mandalika incident has sparked a fascinating debate about racing mentality in MotoGP's new generation. Bezzecchi, known for his fiery aggression and fearless overtakes, embodies the spirit of the young, hungry racers now flooding the grid. Yet, as Mandalika proved, the fine line between brilliance and recklessness remains as thin as ever. Tardozzi's comments highlight the tactical nuance required at the top level. It's not just about speed, but judgment. Marquez himself built his legacy on controlled aggression, a blend of instinct and calculation. Ironically, it was a rider reminiscent of his younger self who ultimately caused his downfall in Indonesia. The collision also exposes the underlying rivalry between Ducati and Aprilia, 2 Italian manufacturers competing not only for podiums but for prestige and consistency. Tardozzi's subtle jab may have been aimed less at Bezzecchi and more at Aprilia's growing assertiveness in the championship fight. Rivola's response, measured yet firm, signalled that Aprilia would not shy away from accountability, but neither would they accept being painted as reckless competitors. With Marquez sidelined, Ducati must now rely heavily on their other factory and satellite riders to maintain momentum. For Marquez, the focus turns to healing and preparing for a strong comeback, perhaps just in time to remind everyone why he remains one of the sport's greatest fighters. As for Bezzecchi, Mandalika may stand as a painful but invaluable lesson, one that separates impulsive brilliance from true championship maturity. The Indonesian Grand Prix will be remembered not for who won, but for the crash that reshaped the narrative of a season, a sobering reminder that in MotoGP, one split-second decision can alter everything. The Mandalika crash also raises questions about rider safety on street-style circuits, like Lombok's 4.3-kilometre track. While the layout offers dramatic corners and overtaking opportunities, the gravel traps and close barriers leave little room for error. Marquez's violent tumble was a stark reminder of the thin margin between a competitive move and disaster. Experts have already begun debating whether certain turns at Mandalika demand revised approach strategies or even minor track modifications. From a tactical perspective, the incident also illustrates how crucial starting positions remain in Motogp, even in the age of advanced electronics and aggressive mid-pack overtaking. Bezzecchi started the race slightly behind the front runners, and his drive to push past competitors so early may have contributed to the collision. Riders and teams are now revisiting their risk-reward calculations, particularly when championship standings are at stake. Ducati's technical crew faces a logistical challenge as well. Marquez's absence will force them to adjust bike setups for other riders, balancing speed and reliability without their star performer. This adds pressure not only on engineers and mechanics, but also on Ducati's race strategy team, who must rethink overtaking tactics, tyre choices, and fuel management in Marquez's absence. Meanwhile, Bezzecchi will likely carry the psychological weight of the incident. Despite his youth and talent, crashing a 7-time world champion can leave lasting doubts in a rider's confidence. How he manages his approach to the next races could define whether he matures into a championship contender or remains a promising but inconsistent talent. Rivola's support and public statements will be key in helping Bezzecchi regain focus and composure. The broader paddock is watching closely. Rival teams have quietly noted that Ducati without Marquez might become more vulnerable in upcoming rounds. Honda, Yamaha and KTM teams will be analysing laps, overtakes and race pace to identify potential opportunities. This could tighten the championship battle and shift dynamics significantly, particularly for midfield riders who sense an opening to challenge established frontrunners. Fans too have reacted passionately on social media, splitting into debates over blame, fairness and racing ethics. Some praise Bezzecchi's daring approach, arguing that risk-taking is essential to the sport, while others criticize the move as unnecessarily aggressive. The discussion highlights a recurring theme in Motogp, the tension between bravery and caution, where heroism and error often share the same instant. Finally, the Mandalika incident underscores a key lesson for the sport. Experience and tactical patience remain just as vital as raw speed. Marquez, with decades of top-level racing behind him, fell victim not to a rookie mistake, but to the calculated aggression of a younger competitor. As the 2025 season progresses, teams and riders will likely review this collision extensively, using it as both a cautionary tale and a case study in split-second decision-making at the highest levels of motorcycle racing.